Hello once again, it's jBrereton. This is turn 11 of Beaver over at Something Awful Forums. I've got a message here from Vanheim. It's talking about 119. I don't know if he means 119, which is the one that I just took, or 115. So I'm going to leave that for now, because there could be all kinds of shit through there. I think basically this is, I don't think any longer worth keeping secret. I pretty much just told him that Vanheim is around here somewhere, and that he'd probably do well to rush down the coast and fuck him up. For later in the game, I'm not really sure that surrounding myself with Helheim was with Vanheim rather was a fantastic idea, but in the short term at least, it seems like a good way to make sure that Helheim's only going to have a couple of big attacks in him, and if I can blunt those, maybe take some more of his territory back, I think that's going to be a good time. Because at the moment I'm basically contained to like what, half a dozen provinces. That's just garbage. You can't really survive in a game of Dominions with that. But I do have a fairly sizable army massed, plus a whole bunch of mercenaries. And my magical research has been kind of unexceptional, but at the same time it's not horrible by any means. I've got enchantment at 3 next turn. I'm going to have conjuration up a couple of turns after that. I'm going to bring it up to 3, just to make sure that my pretender can do things like summon earth power, which is always helpful. Also means I've got some elemental and undead summons. Undead summons are strictly out of battle, but the elementals and so on are going to come in handy if I ever find anything with different magic. Plus it means I've got access to summon shades at level 2, which is good, and Inari can cast that. And they, as ethereal units, are quite a good way to kind of jam up the forces of Helheim while they try and beat them down. Over here it looks like Beratos is doing rather well for itself. Beratos is played by a new player called Rampk, who is actually doing very well in Dominion so far, which is good. It's always nice to see new players breaking through. Calum is apparently doing okay as well. Started expanding a bit better over here. And soon enough I think we'll be shaping up alright. I don't know who I'll go for after Helheim, to be quite honest. Me and Vanheim have a non-aggression pact, so hopefully that means he won't just stab me in the back. The thing about fighting Vanheim, right, is even if you have a non-aggression pact with someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that he hasn't got a whole bunch of shit just sort of standing around in your provinces waiting for the word go. So even if I get to kind of the medium or late stage of the game, even though it's looking a little bit unlikely at the moment, it'll mean that our non-aggression pact is somewhat flawed on my end, or somewhat less predictably useful than it would be against someone like, say, Agartha, who doesn't have any stealthy troops whatsoever, apart from summons. But I doubt they're exactly going to be getting a bunch of Pale 1 scouts with crowns of command or anything, just walking around in my territory. So yes, once again, relatively short turn. These guys are still patrolling here. I really can't afford to lose my cap, not when my god is going to come within about 1 to 3 turns of now. So if he just pops out, turns up in front of 25 PD, and it gets killed on a lance straight away. My faction doesn't have particularly good priests, and they're quite expensive, the national ones. So I really want to avoid that if at all possible. And it looks like Helheim has a kind of weak Dominion score, so it may be possible to get my big ol' army through, and then have my Prophet and PG kind of standing together, getting his candles out of the way. Because one choice for Helheim, if they've gone for N9, is the Eminsel, An Amintal is a big immobile guy. He's a gigantic tree. He's got some bears in front of him, very nice. But they are often taken imprisoned with a relatively good dom score because they have dom 4, but an imprisoned leader is still an imprisoned leader. And without his profit for a long time, his dominion is going to be pretty thinly spread, despite the fact that he's going to have one temple basically, because forced like Helheim, they don't normally want to stick around and put a bunch of temples up when they could just be spending the money on hell healings instead. So if I can get close to his cap with my profit and with my PG, maybe slap a temple up in an adjacent province and just kind of sit around his cap, I may just be able to dom kill him. And then that's gonna create like a real Scrabble for his territory. If Agartha gets my way, I'm just gonna fucking destroy him, because he thinks he can't fight until he's got country. He may or may not have it by now, but I mean, at the end of the day, if that's his basic opinion about his troops and whatever, I'll go for it. I've got a whole bunch of guys, so his Mind Blast aren't that scary. And then we'll sort of see where we go from there. I'm still interested in who's going to be around here. So we know that we've got Lanka, Beretos, Calum, Vanheim and Helheim spotted. So somewhere in here is going to be Arcoscephalae, Sebulba, and a couple of others. Let's see who. I've actually forgotten who I'm playing against. Alright, Pan at some point is going to be in there. That'll be annoying to deal with when I meet them. But we've actually met most of these guys. So Margaret Thatcher is going to be in there. Shadow of Death will be in there. Yomi somewhere, and Zabalba, and then Queen Elizabeth obviously is in the middle of the sea. So there's 4 players of all this territory, which is a little bit less cramped than what I've got going on, certainly. But I'm sure they've probably got their own little conflicts going on at the moment. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been jBrereton, and I'll see you again next time. The game is currently on a 4-day timer because we've got someone who is away on business. So we shall see how quickly the next turn gets uploaded. But cheers for watching anyway, and after the weekend, normal service will resume. I'll probably do some strategy vids in the meantime. Thanks, bye.